למד כל הירושלמי. איפה הבחור?
הוא היה לפני החתונה של הרב.
הוא עושה סיום על כל ירושלמי, הוא רוצה ברוך שלא יצלח את כל התל.
לפני החתונה.
הרב אמר ברוך.
I want to introduce you to a really amazing, deep idea that is in the Yerushalmi and Peah 2:4. In the background, you hear the people that are studying in the Kollel, and then the Kollel here in Har Nof, in Jerusalem. And all the people in the background are really doing the same thing that this Gemara is talking about. The Gemara has a discussion between two Amorim about oral law that was transmitted in the tradition from Moses at Har Sinai. And the Gemara goes like this. Rabbi Zera, who is a student of Rabbi Yochanan, says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan that if a halacha comes to your attention and you do not know its reason, do not divert it to anything else. In other words, don't give your own reasons for it. Don't use your own logic for it. Because many of the laws, he says, can't be derived by logic, and they were really just part of this tradition that was said to Moses at Har Sinai, and many of these were incorporated into Jewish law, into the Mishnah, which is the structure of how do we have an oral law at all. This is the compendium of everything that we have, and then the Gemaras are the Amoraic discussions about what was compiled by Rabbeinu HaKadosh. And the Gemara is going to look at this Mishnah that we have in Peah 2:4. Rabbi Avin said that what Rabbi Zera is true. It says regarding the law in this Mishnah on happens to be two different varieties of wheat, that if Nachum the sage, who was a Tana that was in this Mishnah, had not informed us, we would not have known that the law is based on an oral law transmitted to Moses and Har Sinai. Now, what Rabbi Avin is trying to say is that if we weren't alerted to this oral law in the Mishnah, we might have sat there and tried to use our own logic to understand this law. And we would have come up with the wrong conclusion if we just used our own logic. In other words, the tradition is saying that it's going to be this particular kind of wheat, not that kind of wheat. And if you were to use your own logic to try to infer what it would be, you might come up with the wrong answer. And that's not what Jewish law is going to be. So in order to come up with the right understanding of halacha, or to look at a Mishnah or a Gemara, you always have to look at a tradition to try to explain it. So in your life, when you're looking at Torah, and you're looking at the Chumash, and you're looking at Gemara, and you're looking at halacha that might not make any sense to you, that you shouldn't try to understand it and explain it with your own logic. And you shouldn't listen to rabbis who only use their own logic to look at it. You should always go back and find a tradition. You should always listen to a rabbi who is expressing something from the tradition and really try to go back to a deeper understanding of the oral law. And you should realize that many of these traditions are not just by pure logic and intellect, but part of this tradition. That's the straight path of what is Jewish transmission, is what is coming from this tradition from Mount Sinai to the present day, through this continuous transmission from student to teacher, from the people like in the background here at the Kollel, that are always looking at what is said with this tradition. Don't just use your own logic. Don't just listen to people that are giving you explanations based on their own logic. Go back to the tradition, because that is going to give you the right answer on the way to live your life and the way to get connected to Hashem. Have a great day.